Well, hello there guys, I am Agrippa Maxenius and welcome to Tank Operations European Campaign. This is a fascinating World War II game that really just gives you an in-depth sense of control of your entire army in any given theater. The map over here is also beautiful with a tremendous amount of enemy cities here, which we also need to take during this battle. We're currently playing the Battle of Tunisia. There's many other battles, most of them of course taking place in Europe. In this case we have come to the deserts of North Africa to try and engage the Germans. This is somewhat different from a lot of the World War II games you may be facing in the sense that even the approach to engaging enemy units has been altered here. So, for instance, we can move forward here, we can attack this unit, which is exactly what we're going to do. Now we missed. Now we have a chance to miss. We have a chance to damage him slightly. And another thing that's going to be extremely important in the game is going to be the terrain surrounding enemy units and terrain surrounding our units. We really want to try and be in the best position possible. Obviously over here on this road, not the greatest position. We'd like to get even closer with some of our anti-tank units. I'm going to send the anti-tank infantry forward. And beautiful. They did quite a lot of damage there to the enemy, although as you can see the return fire actually killed our men, and we can even see headstones there, which is a really nice touch by the developers to let us know exactly what's happening on the field. Now, we've got another anti-tank fire team, and I think most of the threat from the enemy tanks is actually going to come from over here. They're going to be bringing King Tigers, more than likely Panzer IVs, maybe a few King Tigers. I think it's a little early in the war for that, but I'm sure they're going to have something to use against us. We'll also start moving our Air Force over there very quickly. We've got a number of different planes, and pretty soon here I'm going to show you how in this game you don't just have what you start off with. You can use the money that you get by not only going from turn to turn, but capturing cities to actually purchase new units throughout your actual campaign, which I think is an addition that is really fun. Especially, I'm not sure if any of you guys have played other strategy games similar to this one, where you just get to the point where you realize, I can't win this battle, it's impossible. That's not going to be the case here most of the time. If you can muster up some units, it might take you a long time, but as long as the enemy doesn't overwhelm your base, you should be able to come out of this with a victory. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you'll always come out with a victory, it just increases the chances, of course, that you will. I also want to move forward with our anti-air and with our artillery, and I'm sure that the Germans are going to respond in kind. Now, we can't really purchase anything this turn. We can maybe get one tank. Let's take a look, actually. We're going to send this tank this way. The M4 Sherman is currently the best tank we have on the field. So let's purchase a new tank. We go over here. As you can see, the Sherman is a bit expensive, but we can afford a Lee. So we're going to purchase a Lee, and next turn, we'll actually be able to go ahead and place him. So let's end that turn. I also want to bring up, actually, this artillery. This is actually a pack gun, so this would be very useful against enemy tanks, and look at that. We get a perfect shot there at the Panzer III. Weren't able to destroy it, unfortunately, but maybe next turn. Also start moving this howitzer forward. He's not going to do us any good back here. And this is also not an anti-tank fire team, so his value is also questionable. These guys also don't do very well against tanks. The M1 combat car, these really are better against enemy infantry units. They're essentially armed with just some machine guns and no real anti-tank equipment. So I'm going to send this guy over here. I don't want him to get shot at this turn. We've also got the wonderful repair vehicle. And this thing, for 500, you can essentially repair any vehicle on the field that's been damaged. We're going to need that thing eventually. Hopefully, though, we won't need it for quite a while. Let's end the turn. Immediate reaction there by the Germans. Thankfully, they missed their shot. We got that return shot, and as you can see, did 225 damage. Now, here on the road, I'm a little concerned, but not too much with the German Panzer IIIs. I'm concerned with the Panzer IVs that they're just storing, waiting to use, and I'm sure that those are on the way. Now, another cool fact about this game is, again, when you take an enemy city, you don't only liberate that city, but you also get some money for taking the city. Sort of a prize, if you will, for having a victorious entrance into the city. So that's something that we definitely want to focus on. If we want to increase our bank account, we are going to get funds every turn, a few funds, but we can make even more money by taking some cities and investing in a larger army, larger air force, etc. So there we go, the tutorial paper is letting us know about the game's terrain. And of course, the terrain is extremely important in this game. Not to mention that some units are going to be unable to pass through certain terrain. So you might have some units that can't pass through this sort of forest area. You might have some units that can't pass through a more rocky or mountainous area. These are all things you definitely have to take into account when you're playing. Let's go ahead, try to get our first kill on one of these enemy tanks. And I think I'm going to give the glory to our anti-tank team. Yeah! Really nice, unit destroyed. We can move up here and take the city now, or, which I think is a better idea, we're going to move down here and assist in destroying the rest of the Germans here in the area, destroy the Panzer I. I'm really more concerned about the Panzer III over there, but I don't want to really engage it if we don't have to this turn. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're also going to carry out an attack with our Thunderbolt. Tank Hunter. I'll do the same over here against the enemy armor. Not bad. Good hit. Now, occasionally you'll get a poor hit, but your weapon will be so strong that it'll go ahead and still destroy the enemy. That was an indirect hit. We still did quite a lot of damage, but unfortunately not enough to totally rout the unit. So I'm going to see if the Sherman can't clean this up. Yes! Critical hit there. Amazing. That unit is destroyed, and we can even see the wreckage of the vehicle all over the damn place. It's a beautiful thing, my friends. Now, I'm actually going to send the combat car through to take the city, and I did that because they have an infantry unit here, but now that I realize it's quite a ways away, I'm not sure that was the greatest idea. Nonetheless, we got 1,650 to spend. Let's first of all place our Lee here, and we're going to start purchasing some more. So let's go ahead and purchase a few of these Shermans. I'm going to get 2 Shermans, and next turn I'll be able to place them. Now, I also want to focus on this tank here. One thing that we have to keep in mind during this battle, there is not a turn counter, which I love. So we can't really run out of turns, but the thing is, we don't just have to take the city of Tobruk. We also have to take any of the enemy oil fields in the area. And I don't necessarily know where those oil fields are. We actually have to locate them. Now, some units have the ability to scout, so they can actually see out a few cases before any other units, etc. I don't believe we currently have any units here with that ability. We'll find out next turn. In which case, we'll go ahead and use that and see if that can let us know exactly where those enemy supply depots are going to be. Let's take a look. We can go ahead and fix that tank. I think it's worth it. He's taken a beating. Let's get the repair truck. There we go, guys. All right, we're turning it over to the Germans. Let's hope they don't do too much damage, and while we're at it, I'll also keep moving forward with my guns. Now, we also have a truck here. It's a supply truck used to ferry men around, etc. It can also heal, but I'm kind of just going to keep this guy back here. I am going to move forward with the rest of the soldiers in the area. Even though these are just GI fire teams, so they're pretty much only useful against enemy infantry, they could still have some use. All right, let's see what Fritz is going to do here. I'm going to start seeing some of those Panzer IV soon. Air Force is moving forward. We might want to react to that. And they actually just took down one of our Thunderbolts with some very well-placed anti-aircraft fire. I think they'll get right through the combat car here. Though he is in a city, so he's getting a pretty huge defense bonus there. As you can see, enemy infantry also coming down from Tabarka. He's going to make this an extremely difficult job. We're going to push on through, folks. All right, that's what I'm looking for first of all. Mind if I do? And could the combat car potentially kill this thing? I don't know. I think the combat car would actually be better over here in Tabarka. So we kind of played the enemy there, and we're going to move forward with our infantry to take out the rest of the enemy. Now, ideally, I would have the anti-tank team take out their tank. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What do they have back here? So it's an 88mm flat gun. This would be very useful against our planes. In fact, it's what's responsible for taking out our other plane. But we're going to have to ignore it this turn. So poor hit. Didn't exactly do the damage I was looking for. But thankfully our pack gun can round up the damage a bit. Oh, the pack gun missed the enemy. And of course, for those of you that don't know, pack guns are really best used against armor. But we made a slight exception. I don't want to get anywhere near that thing. So I'm going to fly my planes a bit south, just to be out of range of the AA gun, and I'm not even sure this is really out of range. We'll go right through with the Lightning. This is a plane killer, and no exception there. Just vaporizing one of the Stukas. I think it's a Stuka. Yep. Sitjunkas Ju-87. Let's go ahead and take that village. Do see some enemies there, some German tanks. I think we got to keep our eyes on them. For now, no, we are going to head east with these guys. Again, we might need to take out German oil fields, so I am going to head east. We need to be a little careful, though, because that tank could do a lot of damage. It's not a Tiger, it's a Panzer IV, but it's still frightening. Now, over here, we've got some Shermans to drop. I'd like to drop the second one close, but first we got to get these guys out of the pass so he can move past. Otherwise, he will be stuck on this side of the pass this turn. That's a bit of a problem. And we can also purchase, thankfully, a wonderful Lightning. It's very expensive at 1,250. I'm going to purchase 2. But I think they're going to be very useful. The best planes we currently have. Of course, we could just go for standard Thunderbolts to engage enemy tanks, but those Lightnings, man, there's something about them. I really, really want to try to get one if we can. So we're going to bring 2 in next turn. Let's see how much it actually helps us. And let's end the turn here. If you look over here on the map, I also really like this touch where we can see the cities we've taken and pretty much the territory that we've taken. We almost totally controlled this western part of the map, with the exception of some of these villages down here. So it really gives you a nice view of what else you have to conquer. And just look here at the city of Tunis, and Bizerte. The enemy is pushing forward with some Panzer IVs, and they've got a whole bunch of Wehrmacht units defending the city to the very end. They don't want to lose this place, that's for sure. That's an 88. The good news is, though, we actually see the enemy base, so it's north of Khartoum. I think we might go for that very soon. Now, the enemy's probably going to try to retake Tabarka. No chance whatsoever. And look at that. We've got some freshly dug German graves. That addition right there, I told you guys that the devs put a lot of work into the post-battle results, and that's a beautiful example of it. I really think that's so cool. All right, let's take on this guy right here. Our anti-tank fire team should be able to do quite a lot of damage, and they did indeed. We're going to push right up in front of this guy. Oh, and it's a miss. That's one of the problems. You get misses. Now, I'm going to push the Sherman. As you can see, though, I'm keeping him over here in this sort of wooded area. So I'm hoping to get a bonus from that. We did get a hit, but again, we're facing, M4s absolutely obliterating the Shermans there. So we have to keep that in mind. This is a tough enemy, guys. A very tough enemy in terms of armor. Bring in the Thunderbolt. This is what he's made for. Oh, no, I went to the wrong tile. Shame on me. All right, let's grab this guy, push him forward. Grab this guy as well. Got our Lightnings. We're not going to be able to use them this turn, but they're going to be there for our use next turn. And as you can see, 2,000 still to spend. As for the armor that we purchased, we are probably going to have to... Oh, wait. Oh, we didn't purchase armor. Shame on me. Let's get a bunch of Shermans here. As many as we can buy. So we can get 3. It's not bad. And I'm going to go straight for that German city. Well, it's not really a German city. It looks like we've got an anti-air unit here. Let's attack. No, it's an 88. It is an anti-air unit, but it's an 88, aka one of the greatest anti-tank units as well. Oh no! No damage to the 88. I'm gonna try to get up close and personal, but I think that thing might be all right this turn. Let's see if we can't get that howitzer closer, and hopefully next turn or one of these turns he can actually break through. And that Sherman is also staying here again. Well, let's keep on pushing forward with our infantry. As for the combat vehicle, not really sure what I even want to do with him. I'm also moving that Pat gun forward. Yes, we have Pat guns too. I realize that the Germans make the best anti-tank guns. What can I say?
Let's get going.
pretty much sacrificing this unit, but if there's any chance at destroying that guy, I'm going for it. Unfortunately, no, he got away. All right, folks, let's end the turn. Let's see what Fritz does here. It's been exciting so far, but now that we're getting closer to the main city, it looks like he's stepping up those defenses. And especially stepping up the production of those Panzer IV tanks that I really cannot stand. As you can see, they are really quite a match for our tanks. Unless we get a few of our tanks targeting a single one, or unless they're in a really open area like the sandy desert, the chances of us actually beating them with our tank against theirs is very low. We need to get a few Shermans to be able to target a single one of these Panzer IVs. So just imagine what it must have been like against a King Tiger. The German armor is still quite good. Boy, yep. Return fire. No, he may be out of range. So not only does the enemy can the enemy outshoot us in turns, but damage. They also outrange us quite a bit here. Really nice attack there by an enemy Stuka. They absolutely vaporized our armor here east of Kasserine. So we might want to go back to the Kasserine Pass and just hold that area. But again, one of our actual goals is to destroy and take all of the enemy oil fields. And I'm almost certain there's going to be some oil fields out here in the desert. I just get the feeling. All right, let's see. They are deciding what to do here. They've got a whole bunch of infantry. We've got to react to it quickly. So first of all, we got to get rid of that tank. I'm not sure I want to dedicate, though, an entire tank to attacking them, so I'm going to use my anti-tank fire team to vaporize that guy. We've got our lightning ready to go as well, and I'm going to go for the enemy Panzer IV. As you can see, our beautiful lightnings are very good at destroying enemy tanks. In fact, maybe even better than our own tanks, and since he's out there in the desert, it was a pretty easy spot. Now, what we should do is repair this guy here. Of course, that means he's probably not going to be able to move this turn. That's all right, though. I think it's more important to go ahead and repair him. So let's do that. And let's move forward with the rest of the Lees. Don't forget, guys, we've got those reinforcing Shermans. We're going to be bringing those forward as well. Really just try to overwhelm the field with tanks. You know, if we can't beat the enemy in terms of quality, we're going to have to beat him in terms of quantity. There we go. Some more Shermans on the way. Fear not, boys. What I really want to see is if this thing can target any enemies. It doesn't look like it, but I'd love to get that pack gun set up right here. So if anybody tries to get through the Kasserine Pass, they're going to have a lot to contend with. And we'll start bringing this tank this way. Start bringing... No, he's good. Start bringing this anti-aircraft this way. No, it's the Gestapo come to get me. I knew this would happen eventually. Let's go ahead and push forward here into the city. Although I don't necessarily think this unit can do much. You know what, though? If he can survive next turn, he might be able to engage some of these enemy infantry units in the woods. What I'd like to do is bring the rest of our GI fire teams forward and have them engage the enemy, but that doesn't seem to be happening the way I intended. Also, I'm going to put that pack gun right there on the road. $900. You bet I'm going to get another Hellcat. Very good against tanks. Not as good as our lightnings, but still pretty damn good against enemy tanks. Alright, let's end that turn. We're still fighting over this sort of village before Tunis. But of course the goal is to get into that huge city. And I also think the devs did a great job here in terms of the construction of the settlements. A lot of the times in strategy games, a city will just be represented by one tile, one hex. This actually looks like the capital of Tunisia, so I'm liking it. I'm liking the setup. Nice attack there against our anti-tank infantry. They were trying to... Oh no, that was actually just standard GIs. Okay, we might be able to actually come up with a pretty decent counterattack here, since our anti-tank infantry is still alive. Fingers crossed, at least. There's that 88, another one of them. I absolutely hate them. think the thing I fear the most on this map, and maybe every other map, is the German 88. It's maneuverable, highly maneuverable, excellent against anti-air, and excellent against tanks, even better against tanks. Better against armor than its intended purpose, so yeah, that's certainly not easy to fight against. So we got major German attacks here. We could start moving some guys to defend this area. We'd obviously like to retake the area, but you know, the real goal is to go ahead and take the capital here. Try to put a stop to our Thunderbolts. Fair play. That was our combat car, and I had a feeling he was not going to survive until next turn. Just a very light unit, and even in his attack, fairly light. Again, those machine guns are good against infantry, but useless against enemy armor. Alright, let's see if we can't do the mother of all counterattacks here. Maybe not. But first things first, I want to engage their armor. Right there on the road. It's an easy kill. Maybe should have tried to use the pack gun. Can the pack gun fire? Oh my goodness, I think he can move and fire. Yes, he can! Critical hit! Oh, I love you, pack gun. And let's see, maybe even the GI fire team, in this case, could potentially take out the enemy because they're very weakened. Not quite. So as you can see here, I mean, it's very important what kind of team you're using. Don't expect to be able to take out armor on the GI fire team even when they're at a very, very low point. You gotta bring up armor to deal with them. Might be the same issue here with our GI fire team. I want to use them to engage the enemy infantry. Nice. Pretty nice hit on the enemy grenadiers. Let's see if we can't knock out a few more tanks. Maybe we can go straight for their base. Let's do it. I'm not sure this is a good idea. Yeah, they seem to be pretty strong here. I think instead I'll target their actual air units. But I'll still try to bring in some planes to target the ground units. There we go. Beautiful bombing run. Also take... Oh, there we go. We've got an enemy 88 once again. But this one is... looks like it's aiming at the air, but again, I'm sure they can change on a moment's notice. Man, can we get close to destroy that gun? I'd really love that. I'm not moving those tanks forward right now, because I want to have enough armor to actually stand up to the enemy armor, and we need to bring more tanks to make that happen. So once these Shermans get where these Lees are now, I think then will be an appropriate time to actually start attacking. Maybe just to be safe, I am going to purchase some more Shermans. And I'll actually get some anti-tank fire teams too, just because I don't feel safe with the enemy so close to the Kasserine Pass. We've got a very important city here. We've also got all of our bases, etc. So I think it's probably just the safe thing to do to send some guys over here to defend. I'm sure the enemy will end up making it through anyway, but we can try our best. Let's put it that way. It's our Thunderbolt. Welcome to battle, boys. I get the feeling that that plane is really going to suffer from my decisions. Let's hope not. Wow, I'm shocked that the anti-air unit could actually target us at that distance. Looks like they made us pay either way for coming out this far, but I didn't expect them to be able to hit us from that far away. Not to mention, they took some pretty nice cover in that forest there. So it's going to be even harder for us to react with our own men to eliminate the threat. Back to us. We are getting the bare minimum 500. I wish we could increase that, and we can if we start taking some villages, taking some cities, etc. I think it's really important to also point out here in this game that you see how our actual lightning is very low on health. It's almost close to being destroyed. That doesn't mean he can't actually dish out damage. The 337 still lets us know that the lightning is capable of actually attacking these units and doing just as much damage as it would before. So it's why it's so important to really try and eliminate units in this game, not just hurt them. Gotta try to wipe them out, wipe them off the map. You know, that enemy tank, even though it's damaged, it can still do cause a tremendous amount of problems to the rest of our army. Let's see if we can't get rid of that 88. Maybe it's all up to the GI fire team. Hey, not bad. They got a great attack on the 88. And I'm going to bring in the Thunderbolt to finish off the job on that Panzer IV. When I see an easy kill, oh, I don't get it. That's what happens. He just barely survived. I'm going to move up with the anti-tank fire team and have them engage. And that 88 is still up and running. Hopefully the tank can waste it before it actually can return fire. Still good to go. We are going to start pushing forward with our armor. Although even this is a bit risky. Again, the enemy definitely outguns all of our Lee tanks. The Lees, though, can do some damage to the enemy. The same is true for the Sherman, of course. The enemy outguns our Shermans, too, but the Shermans can do a lot more damage than the Lees. Both of these can be used against the enemy, but it's going to be really tough to destroy an entire enemy tank army, as opposed to just like a single unit kind of hanging out here. But if they suddenly have 3, 4, 5 Panzer IV groups moving out, we are going to be in a world of trouble. So let's just move up for now. Can't forget about my Hellcat. Let's go ahead and engage the enemy here. Anti-air is almost close enough to being able to target those guys, but not quite. Again, I think this will make me feel somewhat safer. I'm going to start moving these guys over here. Also, the anti-tank fire teams.
Nothing will stop us.
Again, we're going to be worse for wear if we discover that suddenly there are things here that we need. For instance, oil fields. But I'm going to leave it for now. I trust there's not much of value there. 1,500. So many things to purchase. But I think you guys know what I want, and that's going to be 2 more Lees. And you know what? We'll also get an anti-tank fire team. So next turn, these will certainly be useful. And let's end the turn there. Got a lot of armor on the field here. Feeling slightly more confident, but I'm not sure that confidence is merited or warranted here because the enemy has a lot of armor. Just look at that. They're moving it up and down the coast. Most of it is probably in the actual city of Tunis itself or close by over on that tiny peninsula. Just have to see how this goes. Setting up the 88. Oh, I hate that. And look how well it hides. Now, again, some of our units do have the scout ability, so we're going to try to unlock that very soon. Look at that critical hit, 1,147 damage from the 88. That's why this thing is so devastating to us, and why we need to wipe it out quickly. Look at that. Just a kill. Pretty much perfect defense by the enemy. That's why we wanted to come up here with a lot of units as well. Just the massive amount of anti-tank weaponry that's going to be watching the desert. Another option is just to force all of our tanks to take this road instead and move up this way and totally ignore this open desert. Come on, finish him off, boys. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Destroyed one of the enemy anti-tank teams. I don't think this Lee's going to fare very well. We'll move him back here and repair him soon. As for the Sherman, I would like to take a shot at the enemy 88. Yes! Wiped out one of the enemy 88s. Again, these things are so dangerous. that even at the risk of the tanks, I'm trying to destroy them before they can actually attack us. Destroy them before they can destroy us. Now this guy's right in the open. We should be able to get him. Maybe not. Wow, shocking. Okay. There we go. Again, we are taking a lot of damage. Our armor's taking a lot of damage just going for these guys. Took out, of course, both of our beautiful lightnings. So I'm going to bring in the Thunderbolt to try and get some revenge for my lightnings and drop a bomb right on top of that 88. It actually did quite a lot of damage, but as you can see, now this unit is out of ammunition. We're going to have to head back to get this planes of ammunition, and that's assuming she survives. Well, you still have ammunition, don't you, Hellcat? Send them to hell. Ooh! Got rid of those 88s. Those are not going to be a threat anymore. Of course, though, the enemy, just like us, has the ability to purchase some more 88s. They could certainly be using those against us a little bit later. So let's not discount them completely. And let's also not discount the fact that we just got an easy tank kill here. No! We're not quite close enough with our anti-tank team, but the enemy tank is really hurting. Alright, let's get these other Shermans out. Get to the fight, boys. Plenty of fighting to be done.
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking with the 750, maybe we should just save our money for a little bit. It'd be a bad idea to learn to save some ducats, as it were. Alright, folks, it looks like our next move is just going to have to be ending the turn here. Now, again, I will try to move some of the AA guns a bit closer. And 750, we could potentially purchase, of course, some more tanks, but I'm going to hold off for now. I kind of want to see what happens. We can actually get this armor a bit more forward. Seems good. Make sure I can't get any shots here. And we are turning it over to the Germans again. Oh boy, that armor is getting really close. Looks like they missed. We actually got an excellent shot in response there. And maybe some anti-tank teams moving up. That's what it looks like to me. Of course, they still have those Panzer IVs, as well as some Stukas just around. Actually, this looks like a Messerschmitt. That one down in the south is definitely a Stuka, just by the shape. Let's see if they actually decide to go ahead and attack. And again, one of the 88's still around. We managed to destroy those other ones. There are still more ahead. This is why it's so important to be constantly getting that money and purchasing some new units whenever possible.
Taking heavy damage.
Alright, and that's of course a critical hit on our existing anti-tank unit. I was kind of hoping to be able to have him survive the fight. Let's see, he might still be able to survive, and we can also bring that supply truck up to increase some health, or give some health points in the same way that the repair truck can fix some of our tanks. So that's certainly an option as we advance here. Right now I want to try and get as many guys out from that pass as possible to contribute and help in this fight. In fact, are these anti-tank teams? Yes, they are. Oh, lucky day. Nice! Instant kill on the Panzer IV. I love it. If we have more anti-tank teams, I'd like to move them forward as well. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get to the 88 the way I was hoping they would be. At least not this turn. Yeah, definitely not this turn. What about that unit? Nope, they're going to have to wait. Although, I think our howitzer can absolutely open fire on their Panzer IV and actually did some substantial damage. In fact, I might even be able to get a hit from here. I think we need to move forward. Look at that, guys. Time for us to use our 76mm pack gun. Thought for sure we would get a kill. Well, we'll follow up with a kill from the M4 as long as it doesn't miss. Now, we've got this long-range shot, which increases firing range from the next attack. We don't necessarily need to use it this turn, but it's something to consider for our other Shermans here. Let's see. Those two 88s are a problem, of course. Let's bring in the Hellcat over here. Alright, not bad. Now let's see if we can advance on the 88s. Nice, one down. Now if we could score 2 kills on 88s this turn, that would be amazing. Nope, I didn't expect to anyway. And it looks like they got a Wehrmacht, just a standard Wehrmacht fire team there. Not going to be as dangerous as an anti-tank fire team, but given the casualties already on our unit, the damage already done, really, I don't think it's going to matter. I think they'll be able to break through our unit pretty easily next turn. Moving forward.
No problem.
And once again, I am going to go ahead and purchase some more Shermans. Let's get 2 of them, actually. I have to wait till next turn for that beautiful Sherman to arrive. Just looking to see if we haven't missed anything. I don't think we have. We can actually advance here and engage some infantry, potentially destroying them. I was kind of thinking we'd be able to hit them from here. It looks like no, though. We're going to actually have to move in. Let's engage. Critical hit. I think we can maybe wipe them out. Beautiful. Our anti-tank fire team was able to destroy them. The question is, can they survive until the end, or can the anti-tank fire team survive until the end? I'm not sure he can. Although, let's bring the repair truck up. It's about time that we fix that trusty tank. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Not going to be able to do much this turn, but next turn he should be able to help quite a lot. Alright, ending once again. And I'm trying to see if maybe they're having, a lack of resources, a lack of tanks. But it looks like the Germans are pretty strong. It looks like they continue to generate points there. But keep in mind, in the same way that we are able to take locations and make money, we can drain some of their own resources by taking their locations. You can see 2 green chits if you look close at their base, and that means they have 2 units ready to deploy, and what do you know? They're both 88s. I think the enemy is pretty proud of these 88s, so I guess they made 1 tank. But overall, we're going to have to find some effective way to get rid of that. Another idea is just to attack the base head-on, of course, and try to destroy the base. But I get the feeling that's going to take a lot of damage. Probably damage we don't currently have. Surprised our guy did not return fire on that one. Man, the Stuka's coming in for the kill. I'm not even sure our P-26 is really equipped for aerial combat. Oh, never mind, I take that back. It was a poor hit, and we still destroyed the enemy fighter there. Unfortunately, as you can see, they finally took out that group. It's actually just our standard GI team. And we've got, alright, $500 once again to spend. We can either attack their plane here, or we could try to go for the base. First of all, I want to see if we can just take out the tank. There's no way we're getting out of here. And you know what? Let's just follow up. The kill on the tank. We're going to have to come back later with, for sure, some more tanks, some more armor. And I think that's right now what we're going to need to spend our money on, is trying to get more armor, and potentially even just going this northern route, ignoring this route entirely. Although it seems like kind of a waste, especially when there is so much here for us still to get our hands on. Alright, nice, perfect artillery attack. We'll push forward with this Sherman. See just how much damage we can do to the enemy. Right. This is another potential route of attack, guys. But I'm not sure if we can keep on affording Shermans left and right. We'll, of course, drop these off. And I'm going to bring one of them over here to our main front. You guys can see there's a lot of work still to be done. Namely, fighting our way all the way here to Tunis. I'm going to start pushing forward to the armor. I'm also going to try and take the city. Beautiful. So we did get 1,000 off that. We're going to use that 1,000 to manipulate the enemy a little bit. Manipulate our own forces and go ahead and purchase 3 Shermans. Get them in battle and, of course, move them up to the front lines. Try and take on the enemy. Just look and see, we still got those anti-tank fire teams. They should be able to engage the 88s. Should have just gone for the town. Nope. No luck. Lesson learned. Again, these guys are definitely putting them in harm's way, but If we can get a potential tank kill like we did there, I am going to take it just about every time.
Firing target.
Beautiful hit there, and that was, I think, a pack gun. It still works great against infantry, though.
Covering finish.